Hey, great to have you here. So another one of the trailers that we recently got released was the Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. So let's take a look at some of those screenshots and kind of see if we can decipher what's going on maybe in this trailer. Stranger Things is one of my favorite shows of all time, so it's kind of sad it's finally ending, but these kids obviously are getting quite old at this point, so kind of had to happen. Kind of curious where Netflix is going to go after this, honestly, because we have Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, kind of their classic staples are pretty much ending, so not sure the direction they'll take after this ends, but either way, let's just jump right in and take a look at the trailer here. All right, so starting things off, we have what appears to be the Upside Down here, and we have Vecna speaking, so a lot of this trailer is Vecna talking. Other than that, the typical like powerful music playing, so if you want to check out the trailer yourself to listen to all of it, definitely recommend you doing so. But we have him talking here and saying, at long last, we can begin. So kind of one of those things where a lot of times with shows and movies, the subsequent film or season is like the now bigger and better version, or like the stakes are now the very highest. Kind of feels like we're doing that so far in this trailer, which I'm all here for it. Stranger Things has always kind of done that, where it's like the stakes just gradually grow and grow. We started off with just like the demogorgon, then we got the mind flayer, then we got Vecna, so all kinds of stuff just gradually getting bigger and bigger when it comes to the impact of what's going on here. But we have Vecna just kind of walking here in the Upside Down and implying his plan is maybe coming to fruition at this point in time. So kind of cool Netflix logo here we have with the little tentacle stuff. And then we cut to kind of back to modern life here. And we have Dustin here going to school, it appears. And he's just walking in the hallways as if he's back in school. So curious to see exactly how that's going to play out as far as his specific like role and the kids' role after everything that happened in season 4. Are we just going back to having class? We do have some military personnel in the background though. So is it going to be one of those where you're actually isolated and being kind of contained or quarantined by the military, but you're pretending like you have a normal life? Kind of seems like that's what's happening here. Like we have just people just moseying around, but the military watching everything. So he's obviously wearing his Hellfire Club shirt in honor of his buddy Eddie. Very kind of sad ending to season 4 and what happened with his character. So we'll see if they add more characters for season 5. I feel like typically with Stranger Things, you add these new characters in a subsequent season, and then you wind up just killing off the new characters. So a lot of our main cast pretty much remain constant, but with this being the last season, not sure they'll still do that. But obviously he looks pretty traumatized by what happened. Yeah, this kind of looks like what I described, where it's like these buildings are all still being utilized and stuff like that, but it feels like it's a little bit quarantined. Like this bridge is a little bit destroyed, and it almost looks like a military type of setup here. So curious to see how they're going to describe what's going on in the world at this point in time. Why are people not being taken out of Hawkins? And are we just acting like things are normal? Kind of strange. Let's just take a look at it a little bit further here. Shows them on top of this like radio tower. It says they're really starting to lose it. So I'm not sure if they're working at the radio station or if this place is just kind of shut down at this point. Maybe they're trying to send some kind of signal out. Not positive. Obviously just from the trailer here. Yeah, it does imply that they're stuck. So it feels like they're being contained in some capacity. And then we do see some military personnel. So some heavy fencing going on here. And they seem to be maintaining some kind of perimeter around this whole structure, this whole town, if you will. Kind of weird. We just have like normal power lines still going on top of this like military fence. And then in typical fashion, with people exploring here, looks like. It seems like we have some of the older cast here with Steve and Jonathan and Nancy and Robin here. So obviously they kind of do the whole Stranger Things where it's like, let's have the separate groups all doing their own missions. And then typically at the end, we all meet up. Not sure if they're going to follow that formula here. Obviously, for the most part, each of these episodes feels like they're going to be their own independent movie. And we have 3 separate launch times for this as well. We have the Thanksgiving time release, the Christmas time release, and the New Year's time release. So absolutely maximizing the time for this Stranger Things season 5 to pretty much go on for, which is awesome to see, but they're definitely trying to milk it pretty much for all it's worth at this point in time. But yeah, it looks like they're kind of opening up this secret passageway potentially here. Then we have, is this Hopper and 11 here? Just kind of roaming around potentially. In the underground, it's a little bit blue, so it's hard to tell if this is the underground per se. I think the background would imply it is some kind of, either way, mission going on here where they're trying to uncover something potentially, or just trying to advance and infiltrate maybe Vecna's lair. Who knows here? Okay, then we have, once again, just building up the stakes here with the team all meeting up and trying to come up with some major plan to kind of thwart Vecna's overtaking all of society at this point in time. And we have Dustin here. Looks pretty beat up. So he definitely appears to get some rough things take place with his character throughout this. I don't think Dustin's really at jeopardy as a character. I'm kind of curious, who do you guys think may die in this season? Obviously, it's the last season, so not planning to extend the story any further. So a lot of these main staple characters could finally die at this point. If I was making a guess, I would more so lean towards somebody like 11 or one of the buyer's kids. Feels like they're the more so like part of the main integral part of the story, but they're also not necessarily somebody that's like the most likable. Like, I think a lot of people are afraid if like Steve died or Dustin died, for example. So I don't know, maybe like Will or Jonathan, or as I said, maybe 11. We'll have to see. Just some more action shots here. This is probably when she's moving in with Hopper. And it looks like she's running in the scene. Yep. So in typical Stranger Things fashion, we have like music playing and like the running up the hill thing, if you will. She jumping over the top of this security fence, it looks like here. So this is probably the military fence that she's trying to infiltrate there. We have that same radio tower and like the van driving up to it. So maybe this is them trying to rush there to do something essentially. Can't tell if that's the same logo as the logo on the station. So this could be the kids are there and the people in charge of the station are kind of coming back and trying to stop whatever's happening. So not positive. And we have 11 talking to Mike here, saying this isn't like one of your campaigns. So pretty much saying this isn't like D&D. This is real life. You can't just control the outcome of this, which, I mean, there's some choice to be made in D&D where there's like a chance of stuff happening. But I get the point of it being kind of led by the master of the game. Okay, it's hard to see what's going on exactly in the background here. Just out in the woods, essentially. Then we have 11 once again talking to Mike with, you know, a lot of emotion here. Maybe before some big scene where they're about to go do some really risky thing to stop Vecna. All right, we got Jonathan and Nancy here. He's planning to end our world. So once again, those big stakes really taking place. Pretty cool visuals, I will say, in a lot of these. Like, that is awesome to see. The coloring is really cool. We have like the lightning going around on the outside and then the explosion of red here in the middle. Some kind of like winds are like spiraling up on top of this building. Not sure exactly. Maybe it's something to try to like stop the radio tower. Then we have a bit of the ground cracking here. So stuff is starting to unfold potentially in this scene. Okay, a lot of characters in anguish. I think there's a lot of moments in this trailer where characters are embracing each other, like two characters hugging or like some big traumatic like face, like shocked, like you're about to be attacked by somebody. So a lot of that really taking place here. Just once again trying to amp up all of the stakes taking place here. Yep, this November. Okay, we're on some kind of rooftop here, running across it. So maybe this is what we're like breaking into to, you know, do something to stop the military's actions that are taking place. Yeah, this looks like not in the upside down. So part of this feels like some of the blue, it's hard to tell if it's like just nighttime or if it's actually in the upside down. This very much looks like it's in the right side up and just them infiltrating some kind of lab to maybe, you know, thwart the military's plan or whatever they're trying to do. Okay, here is 11 using her powers essentially here. And kind of interesting. This is a new power we've seen from 11. So a lot of times she just does like the hand thing where just, I don't know, somebody gets blasted back. Feels like they amped that up a lot here, where this big like red ring is from her, supposedly from the trailer, and just continuing to blast out even further. You see it kind of like above people's heads here. So just this massive wave of like energy going everywhere essentially. Yep, more characters. We have Jonathan and Nancy here looking like something bad's about to happen or something bad did happen, and they're just embracing each other. Okay, we have a demogorgon here approaching Lucas, I believe it is. It's hard to get the exact spot in this scene, but yeah. He's being potentially attacked, so we'll see if he gets saved by somebody that jumps in here to help him. I think this is Nancy here shooting a gun. Yep, one last adventure. Okay, it's hard to see what's happening here. Just like a lot of stuff going on in the background. Okay, some lightning strikes. Yep. So the world's pretty much turning upside down at this point. Okay, we get an Erica appearance here. Cool to see her included here in this trailer. Everybody hugging each other. So just once again, building things up even further and further. Okay, here we have Lucas carrying Max. So obviously at the end of season 4, we had Max kind of get taken over by Vecna and kind of go into this coma or some kind of thing. And Lucas is trying to potentially save her here. We haven't seen her actually be moving around in the trailer, so I'm assuming they're trying to save that, but I would envision Max is probably okay. But that's just my guess. Okay, we have some characters here. Are they fighting or what is happening here? Okay, we see a car driving through a lawn here, just frantically probably trying to get out. A lot of glass exploding and maybe soldiers being attacked here in the scene. Okay, we have Mike here who's defending a group of kids that we have not seen. Is that Nancy also in the background there? So I'm not sure who these kids are. Maybe these are new introductions or if they're just part of the town where things are going wrong. Obviously, you see the military on the ground in the background. So they could just be people in the streets that he's trying to defend at this specific scene. So maybe they're not necessarily part of the story. And then, yeah, this kind of wrap up portion of things looks like it's just all out chaos unfolding. We have a bunch of demogorgons running around and jumping on people, trying to take out the military as they're trying to shoot them. Explosions here of bodies. This scene was a little bit goofy. It's hard to play it on these still shots, but this demogorgon like jumps up on this tower. And the CGI didn't look the greatest, but it could be just in the trailer. It just kind of looked very slow paced. Then another one where he's attacking the soldiers down the ground. And we see soldiers dead and Vecna walking in. So I don't know when in the show this will be. Maybe early on because they're showing it to us. But some military base gets attacked by Vecna and his squad. And then Vecna rolls in afterwards. And we see what appears to be Will on the ground. He's calling for him here. So Vecna wants Will here to enact his final plan. Cool design of Vecna here. You're going to help me. So he's like lifting up his body with his powers. Kind of cool scene there where we have him like holding him, levitating him a bit there. One last time. So once again, big stakes here. One final time. You're going to help me, Will. Then kind of a goofy scene here. I don't know if I love the face by Will's character. He obviously looks terrified, but it looks a little funny. Obviously, I'm pausing here, so it's not going to be like that on the actual show, but it appears that Will's going to be utilized somehow, or Vecna is at least going to try to utilize him, similar to how he's always been, where it's like he has been the one that's been like impacted by whatever Vecna or the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer are doing in the behind the scenes of stuff. So he may be some kind of weapon for Vecna. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out. He's always been kind of at risk, like since the beginning. Honestly, I think Will's character for me was the best in season 1, where it's like, oh, I wish we got more of him. And then we got more of him, and I didn't feel like I liked him as much. Then we just get the title here, Stranger Things Season 5, the final season. Yep. And then sharing the dates when it comes out. So cool to see this. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect necessarily, other than just having this massive trailer of like music playing and just getting you emotionally involved in the story and wanting to really see what's happening here. A lot of people, obviously, it's been years since season 4 happened, so a lot of people are kind of checked out. Doing trailers like this kind of get people bought back in. They're like, all right, let's do it. Let's check it out. And yeah, from there, I'm not sure what Netflix, as I said, is going to do, but curious what you guys think about the trailer. Do you think certain characters may die, may live, or what parts did you like or dislike about the trailer? Overall, I thought it was pretty strong. It was effective at kind of getting people hyped up for watching the show. And only a month now, so it's going to be here pretty quickly, as talked about. So volume 1 being November 26th. Then we'll get a couple more afterwards to kind of wrap things up. So yeah, as I said, I kind of just walked through things here and gave some thoughts. Share yours down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you again soon.